Hey everybody, before we get started with this video, I want to let you know that Die Hard Dice in no way whatsoever sponsored this video. I am simply just making a review on a product that I thoroughly enjoy and use and want to share the greatness that is this product. So all of these opinions are mine, and I just want to be entirely transparent with you just to ensure that, this isn't biased opinions. Like, I think these are good products. I think you should buy these products, but that is my opinion that was no way whatsoever paid for or sponsored by Die Hard Dice. Without that, let's get on to the video. Hey everybody, welcome to Chaotic Goods. We're doing another product review of just an amazing product that I want to share with everybody because they're taking something that's commonly used and just breaking the mold and making it better. And you don't see a lot of brands do that anymore just because it's hard to perfect something that's, well, perfect. But here we have two products from Die Hard Dice. If you've played any sort of tabletop role-playing game, then I'm sure you've heard of this brand. They are phenomenal, and the products they make are great. They do a lot of stuff with role-playing RPG dice, sets of 7, sets of 11, but they also do what are called their lifelink counters, which we have 2 of here, and then they have countdown dice for, buff counters, power counters like that for Magic the Gathering, and in my specific case, Grand Archive. So I want to showcase these because I think they're really good products and people should be aware of what they are. So we're going to start with the lifelink counter. So I have 2 here. I originally had this one. It's just a white and silver, and then I purchased this one recently, which is like a stone metal with like blood splatter. I'm a huge fan of this. I saw it and I bought it immediately. I also bought a 7-set TTRPG dice to match this. So what are these, right? So if you play Commander, you play Grand Archive, it's simply just a life counter. It's, you take damage, you simply just click it and spin. You have 22 health, you lose 2, you go to 20, and this goes all the way up to 9 for those huge numbers, right? So I'm sure you can use this for more than just your typical, Commander, Grand Archive, anything that uses a life counter. And you can use this for something else like a turn counter. I was using this for D&D to do combat turns for spells and stuff. I put it on my DM tower, and I I was just taking it down and letting people know that way I could keep track and my players could keep track. So a lot of uses for this. And the best part is, it's hefty, right? It's not made out of cheap plastic or it's like a thin card that you can easily snap in half. This is hefty metal, right? And it's magnetic. So you can see kind of how it works here. That nice click. Can my mic pick that up? Yeah, so that's kind of nice, a nice click, so if you're playing against your opponent, like, it's easy to slide too, so quick damage, be like, okay, cool, I took 2, whatever. It fits really well. And then, if you wanted to, you can just mix and match. So let's say you wanted one number to be here, one number to be there, right? You can just do this. They have a lot of things where you can do this sort of mix and match stuff with it. They have like D20s and things like that where you can swap the pieces, which is really cool. Just for people who like to do that, and it's a really good fidget toy as well. Like this one's been used a lot, so it spins a lot easier than this one, which is like brand new. I've had this for, I don't know, maybe a week, I think. But I want to give a huge shout out to Die Hard Dice and just the quality of these products and just how good they are and how useful they are. And they're small enough that you can take them apart, throw it in your bag, throw the whole thing in your bag. This fits in my deck box. If you watch my deck box video for the Nun waifu deck box, this fits in that, nice and snug, and it's great. Sure, has a little bit of weight to it, but whatever, it's fine. Like, I would much rather use this than an app on my phone when my phone screen will turn off or whatever. Like, this is more reliable to me and I haven't had any complaints of my opponents, not being able to see my remaining life total and things like that. So, huge shout out to the lifelink counters. Go buy one. I believe they're $40, which is a little bit pricey, but it's metal and magnets. It's not going to be cheap. Like, you're paying for the quality of the product at that point. Well worth the expense, in my opinion. So, go check them out. Next up is the power and toughness dice. So again, you could easily just use a standard small D6, right, with a bunch of dots. But I don't like using those because it's kind of a pain when you're in a heat of the moment and like you're trying to do a billion other things, calculate the damage, calculate everything. Looking at that is just kind of annoying. So I've looked for other alternatives of dice to try and figure out the easiest way to represent my counters and my buffs, and my opponents can also have that same easy visibility into it. Now, with Grand Archive specifically, you have buff counters, which are a +1/+1, or +X/X, right? But I don't like putting a little dice that says okay 2, because sometimes what if you give somebody a buff counter, and then what if they get another buff like to their HP? So at that point you have 2 here and a 1 dice here, and it just gets, to me, again, it gets confusing. And maybe it's just because I suck, I don't know. But I like having easy visibility into my buff counters and my toughness and everything like that. So when I saw that they dropped these, I bought them immediately. And I'm pretty sure their previous versions of these sold out almost just as fast as these, so I was happy to grab some. They might still have some available at the time of recording this. I don't know if they do, but I went and splurged on the plus and minus. They have just a pack of the plus and just a pack of the minus, or you can do the little bit of both. I went for both because sometimes you can do a subtraction effect, or sometimes you can have a plus effect. So in Grand Archive specifically, you can give somebody distant, right? A distant effect. And distant gives them ranged of, +2. So if a unit has ranged ranged 2, and you make them distant, they now have a +2 only to their attack. So what do? You have this little dice, and look at this little thing right here. This little arrow tells you the direction in which the buff goes. This is so nice. This is amazing. This innovation is a game changer, because now you just go boop, 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 boop. Look at that. And then back to 1. It's phenomenal. Like, this is genius. Absolutely genius. Because otherwise, you see people who are like, where's the number? What do I do? Oh, okay, it's right here. You take like 5 seconds trying to figure out where the stupid number is on the dice. When you're just like, okay, I have 1. I go 2, 3, or even if you pick up the dice and you're like, oh, this one's 2, I need 6. Yeah, like you can fiddle around with it, whatever. But like, if you give somebody a buff and it's like, okay, this unit has 2, right? Or this unit has 2, and I give them +2s, you just go 3, 4. Super nice, genius, right? So I will be using these specifically for that. I have other dice that are +1/+1. It's like +1/+1 or -1/-1. That's for other effects, right? But this is super good for like those ranged effects or just any sort of buff to a single stat rather than both stats on the card. And then they have the little -1s here too. So I wanted to give a shout out to these because I think this is genius. This is absolutely genius. And also the case here, I've never seen a case like this where you open it how I just did. Typically you pop off the bottom and all the dice, you can flip it upside down, but then you gotta dump it to get all the dice to get out. This, you just take the top off. Look at that. And then I can just grab all the dice I need and then put that back on. Again, we're innovating on things that didn't need to be innovated until you realize how much better the innovation is. Like, huge shout out to Die Hard Dice. Amazing dice products. Not just these. Their D&D, their tabletop RPG dice are great. They're phenomenal. But when we get things like these lifelink counters and countdown dice for, you know, power and toughness, like, this is great. And also the best part of this is it fits in my deck box. This isn't very big at all. And like, typically I'll just grab a handful and just throw it in my deck box and be like, okay, we're good. Like, I only need that many. But in this is great. I have plenty of dice here to just put this whole thing in my deck box, put this in my deck box, have my deck, have my sideboard, have my tokens, all in one deck box. Like, it's in, again, this is the none deck box that you saw in my, that you could have potentially seen in my video. You know, links to it below. All of that fits in here. It's, you know, an 80 card deck, 15 tokens, these dice, this counter, other dice, it all fits in there. So shout out to Die Hard Dice and just making amazing products. And honestly, I don't know if it can get any better than these. I really don't. This to me is just pure genius. Maybe, I don't even know. Honestly, I got nothing. I can't think of anything better than this. So go check them out. Links to Die Hard Dice in the description below. Have a good evening.